Well, speaking of Donald Trump's legal troubles, I have this here for you from CNN. New York judge finds Donald Trump liable for fraud. Just keeps on stacking all these different debacles for Donald Trump. A New York judge found Donald Trump and his adult sons liable for fraud and canceled the Trump Organization's business certificate. A shocking ruling that possessed an existential threat to the former president's financial empire as he runs for a second term in the White House. Judge Arthur Engoron's ruling on Monday is a complete rejection of Trump's arguments that he didn't inflate the values of his golf courses, hotels, homes at Mar-a-Lago and Seven Springs on financial statements. And this is, of course, in relation to the case brought against Donald Trump and his organization by the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, who in the first claim is alleging, and that's what's getting litigated here, is alleging that Trump defrauded lenders, insurers, entities of other kinds with these false financial statements and false statements about the worth of his hotels, homes, golf courses. And that, boom, decided on. Indeed, at least according to this judge, he did defraud those entities. And so then the trial will litigate other claims brought in this lawsuit by Letitia James against Trump and his organization, as well as the damages, how much Trump will actually have to pay out. This is a civil case, of course. And here is this further being discussed on MSNBC.
Good morning to you all. Russ, we'll start with you. You've been covering this closely. Can you just boil down for our audience what's going on here and exactly what Trump did, alleged to have done here, and why the judge viewed it as fraud?
Well, if you read the documents that were filed in this case and the judge's decision, it's a very clear example of misleading the banks that he's presenting these documents to in a fraudulent way. He's not just overstating values, as he said. He's actually withholding information that they have found, they know themselves to be true, from the banks. They're taking, they've had assessments done of the property that one value, they're presenting another value. There are documents that have been filed where they can't raise the rent on certain apartment buildings, but they act like they could sell those as condos with no regulations on them at all. They have properties where they can't actually develop it, but they present a valuation that suggests they could develop it. So this isn't just playing with the numbers, as the Trump Organization has said. This is them actually withholding information in a fraudulent way and increasing the value of these things. The judge is going to be the finder of fact in this case when it does go to trial. He is essentially the jury, and he said there's already been enough information presented on this first count, really the most important count, to find them essentially guilty and to then move on to damages. And then we'll get to a trial on the remaining 6 counts there.
There we go. It is yet another example of wrongdoing on the part of Trump, those around him, that he's finally seeing accountability for. And that's what this is. Yes, in the eyes of his supporters, it'll be yet another part of the conspiracy. But for so long, Trump was accused of so many different forms of wrongdoing. And now he's finally seeing some accountability for it. And I will continue to say, as I said in the last segment, it doesn't matter that his last name is Trump. He should be treated like everybody else. He should be treated equally under the law. And that's what we're seeing play out here. And so this does pose an existential threat, as the article noted, to his financial empire, to his business, losing the ability to even conduct it in the state of New York, as well as other horrifying for him ramifications business-wise. And that is what should happen when you defraud in your business practices other entities. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show and get a bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.